back here with Bubba Is You, where we are knee-deep, waist-deep even, in the deep forest. Deep, 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 deep. Level 4 state, victory in the open. Let's do this. Oh, Kiki's moving! Bubba's us. Kiki is right, as in rightward facing, I assume. Flower is defeat, Kiki is move, wall is stop. So I'm seeing that I could put this thing here and say that Kiki is up at a certain point to get you doing something, probably. I'm thinking essentially what we're hoping for is to have the Kiki retrieve the word win and return, so I need to make you into up at the correct time, but the trick is, of course, then it becomes difficult to make you is right again. I don't have to do it and move at the same time, though. There's no rule that says that, so I could do, for instance, ba to get you up here, and then when I want you to go right, I will do that and then make you move. Oh, does it make you alternate? Okay, interesting. Which is fine. I only need you to move one to the right. Oh, well, that's new. Okay, sorry. So if I do this, will you turn right and then... Oh, well, sorry. I can break this other thing by just doing this. Anyway, doink, and then off. So you do one there, and then up, and then you're gonna do... Oh, you keep facing up. Oh, well, that's fine, because now that you're on the right axis, I can have you do this sort of thing. And then, probably don't want it quite down there. It doesn't actually really matter. So you can do right, and then move, and then once you're there, stop moving, and then go up, and then move, and then stop being up, so you go all the way to the bottom. And then, sorry, you're gonna go boop, sorry, like... a boop, and then a boop, and good, and then stop moving, and Kiki is win, like that. Right on. Victory was indeed in the open. Supermarket. Level 11. Oh, wow, okay, lots of conveyor belts, understanding. Bob is us, belt is shift, wall is wall, rock is push, wall is stop. I mean, I was understanding that there are lots of conveyor belts. Not what they do yet. So we got a belt is right thing that would make them all face to the right, so we probably don't want to do that just yet. I'm seeing up here, one of those situations where you're clearly going to push things, you're going to push one thing, the is in the wall, upward. So belt becomes wall, and flag becomes win at the same time, meaning you need to be up where the flag is when that all happens, I assume. Which happens somehow with the belt facing up, the rock being on the track to do that, and then you taking the belt up to do that. Hang on, so if you were to push the rock onto the belt here, and it was facing up, not that it is now, obviously, then you would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 turns to get to a safe space. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you would never make it. If I am understanding correctly. So I could get the belt is up thing going that way, and then start moving somewhere. But like I was saying, if I do this, I don't have time to get there. So the question is, what is the right keyword for? It's almost like they want me to do something weird, like get this out here, because when the belt is up, you can do this, and then like... this sort of thing, so that they... Oh, wait. No, right, because they're not getting pushed to the right. Okay. And as soon as you make it so it does go to the right... Oh, I've also got that backwards. I was thinking, like, but you can't really get out after this, but I was thinking if you had done something like this and you were over there, then you can make so that the word up comes across the belt and then goes woink. And, like, usurps this, which will give you a little extra time to sort of line things up. So it's called supermarket because you're gonna, like, follow... It's as though you're putting a grocery item on like, one of those conveyor belt things that goes to the cashier, who's gonna scan it for you. And then you, like, chase it along so you get there at the same time. So the question at the forefront of my mind is there a different way to make flag as win than doing this? I don't think so. I think you have to have something here on a conveyor belt going up at some point. I could get a little closer to my exit point if I did this, but not close enough. I don't believe there's any way to make it so that I can change the orientation of the belt such that I can put a longer belt in here or whatever. I think the belts are where they're going to stay, which begs the question, what is the function of being up here at all? Why are there two corridors to this, so to speak? I can go up and down it, It's like they want me to... I don't know what it's like, actually. I suppose the only thing I can think of that belt is right is for is to prevent you, once belt is right, to prevent you from going up here and succeeding on this, you know what I mean? Which it doesn't really... I mean, the way I was playing, you're probably planning to do that anyway, is by pushing a rock to do it once the belts are always already up, so I don't really see what that stops you from doing. That would be so useful, because if you were to push it yourself somehow, then you would be trapped up there anyway. I'm going to say forget about the two conveyor belts side by side at the moment. I don't know what that's for at all. Let me just try and think of other things. The question is, if this belt has to be up by the end, which I assume it does because I don't believe there's any other way to get through if the wall is going to be there and it's going to be stopped. So by the time I'm up here, the belt is going to be up. And that's congruent with the theory that we are going to be setting the rock up to go and then getting up there. So what is right so important for? It seems like the only thing I can think of is that you're going to get belt in here, belt is going to be up, and then you're going to try and get them out, and then but you want this belt to be right again to do some text manipulation or something. Once again, just simply using the text as a buffer isn't enough here, even though this gets me close-ish to where I want to be. Not close enough. And the only closer I could be is if I did this, which is just one further. And we need to be about 8 squares beyond that. What it feels like is to give myself the most time, I'm going to set something on this conveyor belt that goes to the right and changes some text over here that makes it so that this becomes up and then goes there. So then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Like a bunch more time to move once I just set this one thing into motion, then I go, you know what I mean? And the only way I can think that would come about is if you had belt is here and up was set to like take it over, but then right was there. But you can't do that if you're not there. And remind me, if we do say belt is up, what is the situation up here? Is there... Oh, right, I see. That's why they do wall is, because that's the way you can't say wall is belt or something silly. Here. I don't think there's any benefit to getting words up here at this point. I think it is literally about when do you make the belt turn right and when do you make it turn up. And where do you put the rock, for that matter. So if belt is never going to be left, putting the rock here does absolutely nothing, I'm pretty sure. The only thing you want to do is have the rock be here when this thing is up. If you put the rock there when the belt is right, it does that, and as we've established, even if you were to then make it so that belt was up, this does not do what you want. So if belt is right, rock don't go on it. The weird thing is that this one already starts right, so it's like... Okay, well regardless, if I'm fairly sure we agree that the belts are never moving, saying belt is right at the beginning does not achieve anything. This doesn't let me get up there, and it only lets me get up to the not helpful portion of this. And this one is already right. So that would suggest the opening move is belt is up. Maybe not in this particular orientation, but the first thing you do is this, I assume. And it's not as though you could say belt is up and then push this onto the conveyor belt and that would do something, because it's still on the upside, which is the right-hand side. And there's no messing around and saying the belt is a rock or anything like that. So it is literally as simple as push something along a conveyor belt to start. Because it's not this, you're not doing this to start, I'm pretty sure. So we're pushing something along a conveyor belt. The only two that could accept something going outward from it currently are this, which we established doesn't help, and then this stuff, which we presume doesn't do much. Now I can, I suppose, use the word right to push text also. It doesn't have to be the rock. This is a very fascinating one. But like I said, okay, so I gotta work it backwards on this. Like I said, there's no moving the conveyor belts, right? The only thing that can move anything is rock, which is push. The only moving things are the U thing, which is going to be Baba, rock is push, and text is push, and the conveyor belts shift things, which means they cannot shift each other because they're not ever going to move otherwise. So these are the conveyor belts this is how they're going to be when it's at the end. This, not necessarily facing this direction. In fact, definitely not facing this direction, but this shape, which means by the end, this conveyor belt is up, which means they are all up because that's the only way you can do it. Something is going up to finish the statements at the middle top there, and we're along here. I can't help but feel like this is the opening play because this allows us to get stuff out. But it feels too simplistic somehow. Okay, so the trouble I'm experiencing is, assuming I'm using the rock to do this thing, that puts me with a hard time limit of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces. How do we extend that? You would think have the rock on this first spot before the belt becomes up, but there are only three. It can only be the three directions that don't help with that, because if it's down, it doesn't stay on it. If it's right, you go here. But of course. Okay, I've clocked it. I think I needed to walk through it like that, because what I was just about to say was, if it's facing right, like this, then there isn't a way to keep it on this leftward thing. You would have to have something here, I was about to say, before realizing that that is what this is for, probably. And then I think we do, okay, right. So I was able to sort of backwards work it, because then we're gonna give ourselves, oh, that's not gonna be enough though, is it? Well, let me try. Give ourselves a little extra time to get across here. Okay, wait, that's not quite it. Well, I suppose there's no reason I have to do the belt is up part of things the way I'm doing it here. I could build that over here, couldn't I? And in fact, I ought to. I don't know why I was assuming I had to use that conveyor belt over there, actually. That's quite silly, Admiral. Because then I can do this and then... Okay, right. That was a weird assumption I was holding for some reason, that I had to do it with the conveyor belt rather than just bringing it to the left side there. Never mind, we got it. I guess it was just because I was assuming it had to be for something in the puzzle other than just retrieving the up at first. Wrongly was I assuming that. Nevertheless, on to keep out. Hopefully these next few will go a little faster than that one, because that took longer than it probably should have. But it don't matter, sometimes it's going to take as long as it's going to take. Oh my god, is the tree smoking like it's hot? It is that. Fungus has flag, tree is hot, Kiki is us, tree is pull, flag is win, belt is shift, hedge is stop, fungus is melt, bug is feet. Okay. Belt the shift is up there, fungus is melt. Okay, this one looks a little complicated. Tree's hot and tree is pull. I'm not melt, so I don't melt of it, but bugs melt? No, fungus melts. So, and fungus has flag, and flag is win, so we would, in theory, think about doing something like this, but then we can't bring it through. And we also can't get out. So if we had it such that belt was pull, naturally we could unblock that whole, we could take it with us. Nope, it becomes a wall then. Right, well we could do this though. But it is seeming like we're gonna need something that is shift, whether it's going to be belt or not, once we get to a certain point. Now of note is that I can say that I can take fungus off of being melt, and I might be able to make it into something else also. But tree is never not gonna be hot, so I think what we're saying, and I don't see, way to make fungus you or anything, so I think the only way we are getting rid of the fungus to get the flag to pop out is by putting the tree onto it while it is melt. This game is making me hungry. Not because anything in here is particularly appetizing, just because it's one of those things where you think a lot and get hungry. And now I'm kind of hungry, and that's distracting me a little. Because I don't have any food right in this room at the moment. I mean, I've got a bit of chocolate, but you don't want to eat chocolate when you're hungry. that's not going to turn out well. Or at least I find that. Anyway, regardless, Bungus defeat is not negotiable, so we aren't getting up there. I don't know what the room up here is for. The only thing I could think that I could do there is say tree is belt is shift or something weird like that. And I don't know how that helps. And actually, I don't even think I could get that with these limited words. I could only get one of them up there via pull here, like that. So why it's like this instead of just being all hedge on this 2x2 space above me here, I don't know. But we're in another troubling situation where... wait, hang on a minute. Okay, sorry, I was just about to say... Okay. I can't remember exactly what I was about to say, but the point is, I think I have a way here to do some stuff with tree, except I don't know how I'm going to get tree to be pull again. Maybe we'll be able to do once we get all the is up there. But if I were again to do my shenaniganery of saying that belt was pull, and we were just sort of, I need more room, don't I? No, I don't, because tree is now walk overable. But if I take belt around it, belt is still shift as well as being pull, so I could pull it behind me and that brings the tree, so we get the tree into the corner at least. And now if tree were pull, it would be as simple as doing this. Of course, we don't really have access to pull, but we could maybe get access to it, sort of. It feels like we now have to get this pull word out somehow, right? But if I do this, it's stuck up there, and I don't really know how to do it. Oh, I also can't pull the belt anymore after that. It's like I have to get the belt here and facing down. Like right here, right? To get that pull out now? I don't really know how to do that. It does feel pertinent, though, that this stuff is movable, as though they wish for me to Well, I sort of feel like that's mostly just so you can get tree is pull here again. I could get in here with the thing by doing this, but I can't then get out. All right, so what am I thinking here? I'm thinking that's the only way to get the tree out of here is by pulling it. In theory, another way is to have a conveyor belt facing up here, shifting it up. Why can I not do that? Well, I can only take it this far, and then I need to be able to push it. I don't see how getting is melt anywhere else helps, because the only thing I can think to put it on would be belt. And I don't know, I mean, it's not like the belt is making a problem. I could just take it out of the way if that was the issue. Nor does belt have anything. It's fungus what has stuff. This shape feels very particular, though. Like there's some way I'm meant to get the text out of here. And pushing it in isn't doing much, obviously. This doesn't feel like a wrong first few steps, though. Because the shape of the circuitous shape of this feels like the point is bring the belt through, but so that you're not trapped, you can get out and then, you know, pull the belt back out this way, which is what we did. And that only makes sense if belt is pull at some point, and I don't see another way to do it than this. So if that's all right to this point, then we're here, and then what? I just feel like a suspicious amount of open space, but I don't think that is relevant. Ah. Well, if pull can only go this way, then I suppose tree is pull could be made there. But then how do you make funguses melt with that? Oh no, in reality, actually, that would require getting some text out of here, which I don't know how to do. So how would I get another is anyway? And if the text is never going to become pull, then how can I? That doesn't feel like an accident, though, that I found this now, that there's literally like a space here for tree is pull. And that seemed to be the only thing you could do with this at this point. What, if anything, are these spaces up here about, though? What does that let you do? Tree is belt is shift? If you can't retrieve the tree word, then you can't turn belt back into tree anyway, and tree is the only thing that's going to be hot. So as soon as you lose the tree keyword and change what tree is, you've lost, I'm pretty sure. So going across the belt first thing is bad. You're never getting out, because belt is shift and it's not changing direction. So I do feel like, at least as an early move, belt as pull is a thing, and you can move it around to your merry heart's content. Well, but basically only left and right here, because to pull it up from here would require being able to disengage from it now, which I don't think is a thing. Since you are entering moving right, you can only disengage here, which leaves it where it started. Or here, which leaves it there. Or you could do something like this partway through, but that doesn't seem to do much. Again, random thought, I can say fungus is hedge. I don't think that achieves anything. I think it has to be tree is pull, because if I got fungus to be pull somehow, I could go 1, and then 1, 2, 3, and I'm stuck here. With the fungus and the tree just barely about to kiss. But I don't see a way to get this is out there. Oh, sorry. This is not that difficult. You don't need to get the is out. I was fooled again by the shape of the stage, made me think I was supposed to do something 1, 2, 3 here. But no, you can do tree is pull very easily if you just do that. I knew, I was like, there's no way this isn't what it is getting the tree to be pull, right? Like, it's right there, and has to be how this ends. Silly Admiral, the architecture means nothing sometimes, okay? Just deal with it. My brain wants to find meaning in it. And be like, there's no way they shaped it like that for no reason. Oh, yes, they did. Or maybe they shaped it like that deliberately to mislead me. Anyway, moving floor. Kiki is us, belt is shift, bug is defeat, hedge is stop, flag is push. We've got a baba there. We've got a win word. The belts are currently shift in these positions, and it doesn't seem that there'll be a way to change them to different positions at any point. Bugs are defeat. Bugs are not push, so it's not like I can shove them. But I can shove text through them. And flags for that matter. To get statements to be sort of building. So, naively, if I wanted to get down to where that win was, I could do something like this to make sure that there's something like a blocking me here. So I think this is what the idea behind these little gaps in front of the conveyor belts is to make like a buffer so that you can still walk through. Oh yeah, so I just need to push, okay, right. I just push, oops, sorry. Push a flag here, and then push, ooh. Ooh, yeah, ooh, Maybe if we make flag into push vertically like this and then go this kind of thing, then we can retrieve these two like this and do this to give ourselves a word buffer here that lets us do this, and then oh, if they're not pushed, then they don't act as a wall for me. Right. Which case, I guess we want word there, word there, and then word plus flags. We would have had to do this one already, I guess. Well, this is what I just did, isn't it? Basically. If I had this like this, though, and a flag up at the top right, so something along these lines, but then flag would still have to be push. And we'd need a word to... Is there a way to retrieve one of these words at this point? I don't think so. Okay, so the thing is, what's disposable at the start? Basically the words are more valuable as blocks because they don't stop being like a blockade once things change. Which basically means that flag is push is going to be the last thing, I assume, and it's going to be there. Except there's no way to orchestrate unless you did it first, I guess, like this, and lost that is forever. Which case you are again fairly limited in how you do this. Because then you're over here doing this. I don't think they're pulling any tricks with us. I think we're going to get win over there to say Baba is win and then win. I don't think it's something like we're going to say Baba is push and then use it in part of this. Nor do I think we're going to do something weird and end up saying flag is win. By getting the flag is down to where the win thing is. So it's like, what's the most disposable? The flags, because they're going to stop being what they say they are after a point. Which case... Oh, yeah, well, then I'm fine to just... I don't want to do it in that order, probably. I want to do it more like... this. And then... that, and then... Right, okay, that should be fine. Okay, yeah, sorry, I was right that the flags, you gotta use them in a particular order because they're the most disposable, in a sense of the word. Okay, right. That was one of those things where I was like, I felt like I tried that combination already, but clearly didn't. Anyway, in our bonus stage, Crumbling Floor, our final extra stage of the world. Crumbling Floor, so this, but a bit more. Okay, so what is different? About to shift key is us, edges stop, bug is defeat. Oh, I see. So the only difference is that we don't have an extra is here. Well, not the only difference, because the shape of this is a little different as well, isn't it? Crumbling Floor makes it sound like you're not going to... Like you're going to change something as you go by, doesn't it? I'm not sure yet, but just to be overly clear about this, the trouble with doing it this way is you run into things right about here. Crumbling Floor makes it sound like you're going to take flag off of being push as you go past something or something weird like that. Of course, we must try to be cognizant of the fact that sometimes the extra stage versions are tricky and you're not fulfilling the same like end goal criteria. I.e., we may not actually trying to get Baba to win to Baba is. We may be trying to do flag is win somewhere halfway or something. Let me just pop back to the previous one to see how the shape differs. Okay, so it wasn't my imagination. This one is laid out with like more weirdness over here, such that you couldn't line text up in between these two. I think that's the idea, is like the fact that these two are like closer together on the right-hand side. You could do like flag is pushed vertically somehow. Ah, well, there's an interesting idea. What if you did something like that and then pushed this along here? Okay, I think I probably did it in the wrong order because now I can get win there, but if the flags are no longer pushed, so they won't do the thing I'm hoping for. But there's a bit of something to that, isn't there? Maybe not with those particular items in that particular way. Because that is something you couldn't do in the previous orientation of the stage, because you'd have to go down, you'd have to go Let me just show it on that stage. You couldn't push the flag down from here. You'd have to, it's not shaped like that. So the fact that you can here, that feels right. Like you're gonna be pushing something along. Crumbling floor makes it sound like there'll be a flag here and you're pushing flag, the words flag is pushed through here in a particular way. Like something like this. Oh, no, that doesn't work. Thing is, the only way you could push a word with the flag would be like this, because otherwise, if you push it from the end, so to speak, like here, then the flag is pushed thing breaks halfway through, which defeats the purpose, because then you're not pushing it into the bug's place. But the vital thing here is that what you would expect from the previous stage is that you're going to end up with a thing on each of the 3 bugs, which in this case, since you only have 2 flags and flag is push, means the flag is push statement will be broken before you even get in there, which case the flags are not acting as floor. But the difference here is that you can, with this sort of thing, you no longer have to put anything on this roach here, so you're losing fewer objects, so to speak, because then you can do this. Regardless, I'm still reasonably confident that the first thing that happens is you do the win, because it has to be here when you're coming around the other side, I'm pretty sure. I don't think that's changed. So I'm pretty sure at the beginning something does end up here. If the floor is going to crumble, that makes it sound like we're taking flag as push away later, rather than sooner, which makes it sound like a flag goes here, because there's no way to get flag as push into there without it crumbling. So I see us doing this. And then I don't know what I see us doing. Oh, hang on. Wait, why do I think this is a thing? I don't know. And then... Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know why that felt so complicated. But I solved the thing, which was that if you have 2 things stacked here, you can do this thing. Okay, I guess that's the point behind crumbling floor, is that I was way reading into the name there. It's just that this floor here crumbles before the end because you break flag as push. Now there's a floor, now there isn't. But I was thinking that somehow I thought that... I don't really know. Anyway, we worked it through. that was a very mentally confusing experience, just having to face my own brain and be like, why do you think that this won't work? Lots of preconceptions this episode that have been wrong. Anyway, didn't quite make it as far as I anticipated we would at the end of this episode, which is getting through all the blue here, but not far off. And so we'll be carrying on the rest of it. Might even clear the rest of the world next time because there's no other extra stage to do. Oh, actually, I guess I don't know that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, so actually the ones on the right-hand side of here are all going to be either going to be letters or higher numbers. So actually there totally could be more extra stages. We're going to find out next time on BUSILY, most likely, because that is all for now. The next video on the channel is going to be another compilation of moments where I reference things, which I do constantly. Thank you so very much for coming around. Hopefully I'll see you around. Admiral's going to be out of here now. Peace! Okay, so I can put a save there too. We're doing here, aiming at the thing, bonking it with the thing. I think so. Right? Yeah. Bonk. And